once again to the apostles and elders of great millstone that rule and teach real peace and salutations to the brothers on the four corners of this earth, pushing this word in truth, also in sincerity. But I'm gonna Zach, turn on a video. This will be impromptu, you know. Came across this article in one of the chat groups of the brothers and them, and good stuff. You know, really good stuff. All right, let me get straight into it. It says Mexico makes biometric identifier mandatory for all citizens. If you don't know what mandatory means, go look it up. All right, that is a keyword in the headline. Right, mandatory. Right, it says Mexico has officially introduced a digital identification system by signing a law that turned the previously optional biometric-based citizen code into a mandatory document for all citizens. Last month, legislations approved amendments to a law related to the 18-character personal identifier known as the Unique Population Registry Code. That is in Spanish. With the change formalized on Wednesday through a decree. Alright, so they changed the law. Alright. It's the mandatory CURP will contain personal and biometric information, including a photograph and a QR code containing the biometric foot fingerprint and iris data. The identifier is expected to be introduced gradually to all Mexicans by February 2026. The government has also allowed the consolidation of the citizen codes into a single identity platform that will be connected to other state databases and administrative records according to the decree. The Ministry of the Interior and the Digital Transformation Agency must create a unified identity platform within 90 days, while public and private institutions will be required to update the system to recognize the identifier. Now you see how fast we're moving. Right? You have 90 days to create a platform. Right? Because this had to be done by February 2026. Right, and there's Mexico. So much less the rest of the world. You know, Mexico is not known as no superpower or no leading country in anything, as far as I know. You know what I mean? It's like it's a vacation spot, a tourist attraction. You know what I mean? I guess. But yeah, well, certain parts of Mexico, we know it at certain ghetto parts of Mexico. You know what I mean? Right? And on top of that, there is there is just how the agenda, the prophecy is really rolling out, right? Quickly, right? It says the country also plans to kickstart a national program to collect biometric data from children and adolescents within 120 days, according to news outlet Mexico Business. CURP raises surveillance suspicions. The first CURP was issued in 1996, allowing both citizens and residents to use it in tax filings, company records, schools, passports, applications, and other government services. The biometric version of the code began rollout at the beginning of 2025. Privacy advocates The first CURP was issued in 1996. Right, the first one issued in 1996. It's the of the code began roll out at the beginning of 2025, so like January, February months. The privacy advocates, however, have viewed the introduction of the mandatory biometric ID with suspicion raising concerns that the coup will lead to surveillance and data security issues. The new law, for instance, does not require authorities to inform citizens when their data is viewed or accessed. Now we're talking about they want to be like the Most High, right? The elites at this world want to be like the Most High, all or omnipotent, omnipresent. You know what I mean? All knowing, everywhere at the same time. This puts us in a massive surveillance ecosystem with no provisions to identify wrong use of data breaches, identity theft, or acts of corruption. Jose Flores, director of Digital Rights Group R3D, told Context News. CURB could also allow Mexico to establish data sharing agreements with other countries, including a deportation deal with U.S. law enforcement agencies. Rights groups such as Article 19 believe that the ID will give intelligence services access to data without restrictions or transparency. Mexico's national security agencies such as the National Intelligence Center and the National Guard are among the government bodies that will gain access to biometric data. The government says the misuse of sensitive data, including biometrics, is regulated by existing data privacy laws. A wiretap can only be approved by a judge according to the Constitution and law. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, I don't know how to pronounce that, said at the beginning of July the unified identity platform will be able to connect to the National Registry of Missing or Unlocated Persons and the National Forensic Data Bank, allowing the country to combat the alarming trend of disappearances, according to the government. Now, we know how Mexico is. Mexico has certain violent parts, and hey, we know there's a traitor Jake that one of weaknesses, right? We know Mexicans, you know what I mean? The Hispanics are Jakes, you know what I mean? They are children of Israel. That's how they fall under this curse, right? You can see it. But not to digress into that topic. We ain't focusing on that topic. We're focusing on the fact that, hey, the prophecy coming to pass. UBI, 15-minute cities, digital ID, m.o.t.b, rollout, Kalalalia Basham Shai. Alright? Let me get a couple of precepts. Because when I go to is it a 14 and 14? What's it 13? It's not 13. It's a 4. Thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of power. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. That is the goal, that is the agenda. They want to be like the Most High that we're talking about. Hey, all you will be able to take people data. They want to nobody can tell all, you know. Same with the Most High, but the Most High will do what you want. Scripture, it says the Most High does, that's not, let me get it. Give me 1 second. Yeah, there is it. Daniel 4 and 32, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. That is the little part of the precept that came to mind. Most I rule it in the kingdom of men and give it to whomsoever. He will rule it in the kingdom. Rule it. That is how the elites wanna be. You understand? Job 9 and 24. Right? It is given into the hands of the wicked. You know? So they aspire to be like the Most High. I will be like the Most High. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. That is what they aspire to do. So they want that omnipotent, omnipresent power, right? And that's also part, and that's also one aspect of the m.o.t.b. One aspect of it. You know what? This thing is mandatory. No excuses. None. Nil. Nada. Not. Zero. Right? Revelation 12 and 12. It said, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, both ye the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had put a short time here. Well, you know the rights activists and them, their groups acting up and saying, hey, what going on? People could send me information into other countries. You know what I mean? Do all you want with it. Without we knowing if this thing is made law and much better. They acting up on this now, but it already made mandatory, right? So it ain't nothing they could do about them just, you know what I mean? The most they could do, people could protest or whatever, but shit, the government don't make it law. They don't change, they amend whatever laws and so on and so forth, and hey, this shit heavy, right? Is he coming now having great because he knew he had a short time? Shit, you know? Revelation 13 and 16. And he caused it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Back up to verse 69, because that is where the point is I want to get across. Say, and he caused it all. Means he make all. He leave no option. He leave no room open for you to go around it, go under it, above it, nothing. You have to go through it. He say, and he cause all. He cause all. Means what? Make it mandatory, right? Both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. In the article say, Mexico make it mandatory for all citizens, all across the board. Right? This is going to play into the m.o.t.b. This is one of the first major steps. You know? Anyway, I hope the video was informative. I hope it was educational. You know what I mean? Julie Spirit and Power of your Basham Yoshai, Basham Kokodash. Until next time, Shalom.